All right, hi everyone. Welcome back to episode 2 of Love All the Tennis Talk Show, or welcome to episode 2. And I actually should just say welcome, not welcome back, just welcome, because if you watch my first episode, I don't know if you'd actually be returning. I'm still working through that trauma. We can only go forward from here, so bear with me. Okay, let's get right into it. Tsitsipas-Zverev could become the next great rivalry in tennis. You know, anything to talk about my man's Stefanos. So, I mean, and this article does reference, you know, we have the rivalry. And other than that, rivalry Nadal, Federer, Djokovic. The only thing I can think of that's like a true rivalry now is maybe Team Nadal and Clay. And I mean, everyone's a rival if you're playing each other like all the time. But, or like, you know, the Americans against each other, or like Riley Opanka, I don't actually know, and John Isner, like the tall men, or Kevin Anderson, John Isner, like with that big serve situation. But I'm ready for another rivalry. And I think that the thing with Zverev, and I actually don't know how I feel about Zverev, and I don't know what you guys think. DM me or something if you have, you know, your thoughts on Instagram at Level Tennis Talk Show. He was like on top for so long. I think like he was, what is he? I think he's maybe my age now, 22 or 23. And he was like on the top of his game, at the top of the game behind everyone for like years. Like no one was touching him. That was his age, I think. And now he's like nervous. So they kind of ask, okay, they're talking about Stefanos. Can I just call him Steph? I would be down for a nickname. Steph at this Australian Open breakthrough. So a reporter, oh my God. So he lost in the fourth round to Raonic. After the loss, Zverev was asked by a reporter if he and his equally young peers track each other's progress. It would only be natural given how heavily the ATP Tour has invested in promoting Zverev and his cohorts under the #NextGenATP banner. However, isn't he too old? He was too old to, I mean, he won the ATP finals, but he was too old to compete in the Next Gen ATP. I don't know if this is different. Anyway, he goes, I don't do that too much, replied Zverev, who had been the shining star of the Next Gen campaign since its inception. True. Okay, bolting to number 4 in the world rankings at age 20. He said like he was happy for Francis Tiafoe that he made his first quarter. Oh my God, ESPN. Conspicuous by omission. Mention of Tsitsipas or his epic victory did not seem accidental. They have a frosty relationship apparently. And oh my God, Tsitsipas told reporters in Toronto almost exactly a year ago after a win over Zverev, the relationship is okay. It's all right. It's not too bad. It's not too good. It's balanced. I have good friends, but most of my friends on tour are not Next Gen ATP players. I find that so interesting, but I guess that makes sense. Like, no. It doesn't make sense that Zverev does not track other people's progress. His coaches are like tracking them, I'm sure. So maybe he doesn't, but like he's told. Zverev is shaking because Tsitsipas, Shapovalov, Francis Tiafoe, they're climbing quick, I think. I mean, what do I know? But I don't know. I feel like, isn't Zverev like best friends with Marcelo Melo? So, and I guess Tsitsipas, I don't really know who he's friends with, although, Nick Kyrgios on that one podcast that he did No Challenges Remaining, I think, and he mentioned, like Kyrgios mentioned, I like Tsitsipas kind of just like has his head down with like headphones on, doesn't really like pay attention or doesn't like reach out to anyone. And I guess he kind of like wanted to be friends with him. And now apparently they are, because they just played doubles together. And I'm just worried about that bad influence on him. I'm not a fan. So we'll get into that. My next story is like, that is actually a great connection. So, okay. I'm ready for a new rivalry, like a true. And I think, like, yeah, Shapovalov, Tiafoe, who else? Like Kyrgios, I guess. But I think Tsitsipas is on his way to showing it to Zverev, who, like, honestly, I think he's been on his high horse for, like, a little. Something's always been fishy about Zverev to me. And it's not the fish. Anyway, okay. This kind of brings us into the next story. And this is relatively breaking news. I can't. is 17 hours ago. Nick Kyrgios uses bathroom break to demolish 2 rackets, then spits at umpire in latest meltdown. Notice latest meltdown. I just saw this. I actually had a different story picked out because I was like, I need to talk about Nick Kyrgios in some way, and I was going to talk about what I just put on my Instagram at Love All Tennis Talk Show, the picture of him with Eugenie Bouchard's sister, and I'm like, okay. Oh my God, okay. Nick Kyrgios is fired up again after a time violation. Kyrgios melted down spectacularly Wednesday night at the Cincinnati Masters in a second round loss to 8th seed Karen Khachanov. I'll get better with names. He completed a stirring comeback in the first set, but started coming unglued in the second set after chair umpire Fergus Murphy hit him with the time violation warning for taking too long between serves. But he won that game. Oh my God. In the third set, Kyrgios was hit with a code violation. I'm just reading this right now because I literally just saw it before I started filming. And he was hit with a code violation for calling Murphy the worst effing referee ever. Boiled with uncontrollable rage, he went in the tunnel for a bathroom break, and the camera followed him into it a little, not into the bathroom, just into the hallway, and you will literally see him and the guys. Oh my God, the security guards are look afraid. The one is walking in and literally sees him smash the racket and is taken back and comes down. Okay, you're a diabolical if you're making those people scared. Here's the ATP statement, his fines. It totals $113,000. Can you imagine $113,000? You're legit fined for being rude. The following provides a breakdown of penalties incurred by Kyrgios. Ball abuse, okay, warning. Unsportsmanlike conduct, $20,000. Leaving the court, $3,000. Audible obscenity, you're the worst effing referee ever, $5,000. Unsportsmanlike conduct, $5,000. Unsportsmanlike conduct, $20,000. Verbal abuse, $20,000. 2 more unsportsmanlike, $20,000. That's not okay. If I don't even know what to say. I didn't think he could get more out of control than he has been, but I saw that meme. I don't know who did it, and I don't want to say the wrong person, but I think it was the meme account. It was either ATP, WTA memes, pro tennis memes, or I think it was 40 love, and the O and 40 in love might be a 0 if you're looking for it. And it was the meme of that guy sweating bullets, and it was when Nick Kyrgios becomes mentally stable, ATP tour sweating bullets. So that was hilarious. I guess he's no one needs to be worried because he's back to being crazy. It's just are his parents okay with him? I actually need to do more research into him because my mom would be can you not? No offense, but if I was his parents, I would be embarrassed if that was my kid. At least just don't curse. Oh jeez. Trouble in Paradise. Apparently he's been hanging out with the Bouchard family. We saw that they were in his box. I think Jeannie, maybe her sister too, were in his box at Wimbledon. And she did an Instagram story or Snapchat story with him on the court from the box, emojis with the smiley face with hard eyes. You don't do hard eyes for just anything. Hard eyes is romantic. So that leads us into the third story. Eugenie Bouchard gives strong answer to fan criticizing her. Through her official Twitter account, Eugenie Bouchard answered the criticism coming from a fan claiming she checks social media too much. And this is from August 11th. But I've heard this so much, and honestly I've noticed it too, that she just is very much on social media, and it's I don't think that's a horrible thing. And maybe she does you're more than just a tennis player. She wants to show she likes fashion, or she likes traveling, whatever. But it is kind of funny when they're just she does more social media than tennis, and honestly you would think that. But she said, a fan claiming that she checks social media too much, Bouchard insisted she is totally focused and committed to tennis. I practiced until 10 p.m. tonight, wrote Bouchard. And I don't know if this is from Tennis World USA. I don't know if this is from Tennis World USA or this is, I don't know, this is going to make me sound very out of touch and like not intelligent, but I don't know if her or they spelled practiced wrong, or if some countries do S instead of C. That's just something I noticed. You know how like, well, in England and like Australia, they do favorite and they do like U-R-I-T, and like America does F-A-V-O-R-T-E. So it might be one of those things, and I'm not gonna like venture it up or to like, to tell you that I know what it is, because, or she just spelled practiced wrong. Also, I wanted to mention this. On her connection with supporters, the fans will always love me. Okay, really? I don't know if I would go so far as to say that. Like, I would say like pick up the racket, like then we'll see. Cause she was doing great. She was like talked about, I think, cause I started following her on Instagram when everyone was like, oh my God, this Canadian girl, like whatever. I was like, oh my God, she's so pretty. Like she like has good Instagram, like let me follow her. And then actually, I was listening to The Backhanders. It's another podcast. I think they're just podcasts. They're probably on iTunes podcast or Apple podcast, but I listen to them on Spotify, and they're like legit hilarious, but like half the time you don't know if what they're saying is like true or not. It's like really funny. You guys should definitely check it out if tennis podcasts are what you're into, which I'm assuming they are. And they literally are like, if Eugenie Bouchard could like pick up a racket, like they literally are like, does she know what tennis is? Like, it's actually hilarious. It's kind of sad, but like, yeah, she loves her social media. Okay, anyway, Eugenie Bouchard, do your thing. Like, she could be laughing all the way to like Wimbledon. Like, she could be practicing and we're seeing her at restaurants doing stuff, but she wins. I'll shut up. Okay. Story number 4, US Open officials to bend the rules for 15-year-old tennis star Cori Gauff. I was like furious when I saw this, because I was like, what the hell? You can't just bend the rules for anyone. But it was Roger Federer previously called for the Women's Tennis Association to loosen the rules surrounding its eligibility after 15-year-old Cori Gauff's sensational Wimbledon run. So Cori Gauff, or Coco, was like super awesome in Wimbledon, like 15. So I guess they have this rule where they can only give wild cards 3 for the year, but she was allotted them for Wimbledon, French, the qualifiers in the Miami Open. The USTA director's like, oh, she won the hearts of tennis fans, so I think they're gonna throw her in there, probably for like popularity too, which like I get it. Like she's like a crowd, like everyone wants to see her. Like I want to see her, but if you're gonna bend the rules for one person, like you have to do it for everyone. That's just what I think. And also, like, it kind of makes me sad. Not sad, but just like our attention spans are like rather low, because what happened when everyone just mere months ago was like, oh my God, American, like Amanda, wow, how do you say her name? Amanda Anisimova, like she got to the French Open. I think she was in the semis. So she was like, everyone was talking about her. Oh my God, like this American, she's 17, she's so young. And then Cori Gauff comes, everyone's like, who's Amanda? Like, what is 17? She's 15. And meanwhile, I'm like, when I was 17 and 15, I was like on my high school tennis team playing doubles, like, wow. And I'm still watching Amanda Anisimova. She was also hanging out with Kyrgios. Like, I can't, why does he dug his claws into like all these girls? Anyway, everyone was so hyped about her and then just kind of like died down. Everyone puts too much pressure, I think. Like now she's expected to perform amazingly at the US Open. And it's like, girl, just enjoy the experience, is what I would say. But it is cool. I'm happy for her. I'm happy to see like this fresh blood. And I'm not even trying to like be mean about like Serena Williams. Like I'm like not like trying to replace her, but it does kind of bring us into our next story. This was so sad. So this was Sunday, Rogers Cup final. Emotional Serena Williams retires from Rogers Cup final and the champion comforts her. She entered Sunday with a chance to win her first tournament since giving birth to her child almost 2 years ago. I did not realize that she has not won anything. Her child's almost 2. That's sad, because everyone's like, oh, I mean, everyone probably thinks like, oh, like once you have a child, like you just can't come back. And she's been super, like she could, I think, but that must be like so disheartening. So I did watch a little bit of it, and she was, complaining of back spasms prior, and Andreescu had broken her serve, and that was sad. And she was like crying, and Bianca came over and like gave her a hug. And she was like, oh, like I know all about your career. She goes, is it your back? And she goes, yeah. She's like, I know everything about you. That was kind of cute. But I mean, it's also like you think like with athletes and like playing through pain, you're tougher for it. But like, no, that could turn into something horrible. I don't know what her thing was, back spasms, but if you're like playing on, if your ankle hurts or something, like you could break it. I broke my ankle when I was like literally at like a stupid carnival with my friends. I think I was 8 years old. I was 8 years old. And we were like running through the grass and I like I literally twisted it into this ditch. And I was like, I want to go on the rides with my friends. And I literally was like limping around everywhere, like still went. I was like 8, I didn't care. And I came back in like after 2 or 3 hours of being like at the carnival or like at the rides with all my friends. And I came back and then I like told my parents, I'm like, oh yeah, my ankle kind of hurts. It was like huge. Like it was golf ball size. We put ice on it. The next morning, like I legit could not even like touch it or walk on it. Like, yeah, you probably would have just sprained it, but like you continued to run on it for like 2 hours. So now it's broken. So like good for her. I know it sucks to retire, but hopefully she'll be okay for US Open. I'm not familiar with really back spasms, if they're just something that need to be like massaged out or like get injections or something. I don't know, but hopefully she's good because she used to be not boring. No, not boring to watch, but it used to be like she used to win everything and just like plow through people. And you just be like, Serena won again, Serena won again. But now it's like, oh my God, like Serena. Oh my God. And then I didn't write this down, but I saw, where did I see it? Maybe like a Twitter or something. Eugenie Bouchard, because I guess she played Bianca before in maybe the semis or quarters or something. She literally tweets, oh, I guess I could have won Rogers Cup. Oh, like, because Serena just like, retired. Like, I guess I could have done it. And then she goes, only kidding. And then she's like, so proud of my baby girl, Bianca. No. Like, what? Her and Nickers are driving me nuts. I was like, who does that? So rude. And she's like, oh, like Serena, hope you get better. It's like, no, you don't. Don't lie. Okay. Last story is now onto Andy Murray. And remember when they played doubles together, Andy and Serena actually, and like everyone was like, oh my God, like tennis king and queen. Publications that do not write about tennis were like telling me that Andy and Serena were playing doubles together. And then like, no offense, but like they lost. So people hype stuff up way too much. I just thought that was an odd pairing to begin with. I mean, I guess they're both great singles and doubles players, but like, they didn't win. Everyone was like eating it up. Okay. Andy Murray describes mentality change after withdrawing from US Open singles. Honestly, like, I have to tell you, like, I was Andy Murray's #1 enemy years ago. I despised him, like, hated him. And my entire family kind of like hated him. I don't know why. I think it started when he won Wimbledon over Djokovic, and like, as you know, like, I'm sorry, but I'm a Djoko diehard, and we just like could not stand him. Like his face when I went to the US Open and saw like his face on the posters or like the light lamps or whatever, I'd be like, ugh, like scoff. Like when I saw him in commercials, his brother and his mom, like I saw his brother at playing doubles at the US Open, I was like, I don't want to see this. Like he was like the villain. Like, yes, I was rooting for Djokovic, and after Djokovic, I like root for like Federer, Nadal. Like I actually like love them all. Like I said in the first episode, which again, if you haven't watched, like no need to. It's kind of embarrassing. But like him, never. Anyone else that was playing him, I would be rooting for. And I honestly don't know why, but I guess it was just kind of like, if Djokovic can't win, then like Murray's losing. But it kind of all changed with his injury, and randomly he was like in my area for months, the area in which I live. I live outside of Philadelphia, and people were seeing him around. Like some of my mom's tennis friends like saw him at some club or some, I don't know if it was a country club or just a tennis club, like got a picture with him, whatever. Like Andy Murray, a girl from my tennis team, saw him eating at Sweet Green, like the salad place, and posted him on the Snapchat. I was like, I responded to that Snapchat. I'm like, who, what, where, when, how? And because like, even though I didn't like him, I was like, a famous tennis person. And she was like, he was so nice. And I was like, well, like, I didn't think he was mean. I don't know why. I just like had this like weird like opposition to him. I think he was doing like some sort of rehab. I think it was after his first hip surgery, and he was doing some sort of rehab like outside of Philadelphia. Then I went into full like stalker mode. This is actually like, I think a year ago. Yes, it was, because I remember when my friend from my tennis team posted that picture on her Snapchat. I was sitting on my couch and I was looking for a job because I just graduated college. I was like gonna go because I wanted some eye cream from Kiehl's at the mall. And I was like, no. And like me being like a 12-year-old, my mom was like, you're not allowed to go out the house until you like apply for 3 jobs. And I was legit gonna go to the mall and get eye cream. I mean, it's kind of on the opposite direction. I don't know if I would have seen him, but straight up was gonna go that morning. And it was like banned from my mom. And I had to like stay home and apply for jobs. I was legit furious. I think I put up my Snapchat story, which is like so embarrassado, but like I did. I remember I went, full stalker mode onto his like coach's Twitter, Twitter. Like he's not that big on social media. And his coach had done a picture of them like with all this land, and it was like, oh, like the rolling hills of Philadelphia or something. So I just thought that was interesting. And then his mom was, you know how the WTT World Team Tennis has the Las Vegas like lasers, I think it is, or Washington lasers, I don't know, like we have the Philadelphia Freedoms, and it's like a few professional tennis players that aren't like, and then a few, like I remember like when I went a few years ago, it was like the star player that was like the guest player for that night at the Philadelphia Freedoms was Victoria Azarenka, and like, you know, I was 19 and they said 15-year-olds and under can get autographs. My mom pushed me and was like, you're 15. Anyway, and Marcelo Mello was there too. So I remember I had like a t-shirt with their signatures, and I have a picture. I stood in front of those children when Victoria Azarenka, they're like, let's get a group picture with all the kids. Like I legit was in college and went in front of the children and was like, can I have a selfie? The lighting is horrible. So like, that's karma because I can't post a picture anywhere because like I have to look like a different person. I don't even look like me. But like, you know, she's my girl. So anyway, Judy Murray was something like some position in the Philadelphia Freedoms this year, and like Billie Jean King, which I honestly don't know her connection to Philadelphia either. I don't know why all these tennis players are coming to Philadelphia, but come on, come all. And I didn't get to go because I was on vacation that week. Furious. Yeah, so Judy was here, which, you know, there's got to be some connection to Philadelphia. But I also wanted to know, was his like wife and kids there? Because I would recognize the wife, Kim, but he has 2 daughters. I think his daughter should be a few years old. Back to the actual story, he's not playing US Open singles. And so I started to like really like him when I like, you know, he's popping up everywhere in Philly or outside of Philly. And now I'm like really rooting for him. He lost in Cincinnati. Oh my God. Also, I was looking at one article, I don't know what it was, but they said something like him losing to Richard Gasquet, and they literally spelled Gasquet Gasket, like Richard Gasket. I was like, okay, I think it might have been ESPN. I was like, really? So yeah, that's so sad. He said like he's been in pain for so long, and his mentality changed a lot because I wasn't in pain anymore. And he was like, I was always worried, what will I do with myself without tennis? But once I got rid of the pain, I realized I didn't really need tennis, and tennis wasn't the most important thing for me. But he said, I'm obviously happy to be back playing. I thought it maybe would have changed my perspective completely on things, but I'm still sitting here disappointed like after the loss, which is like he said, which is I think probably a good thing. Yeah, that's good. He said if I want to get back to playing at a high level, if I was sort of just happy to be back on the court and not really worried about the outcome, then I'd be a bit concerned about that. That's like honestly true. Like he probably realized tennis isn't everything. Like I still have like a life, like kids, a wife and everything. But oh my God, he legit was like, this is a picture from when he was like maybe gonna, how the tables have turned. Now I like feel so bad for him. Yeah, so I guess he just realized, and now he's like, no, I actually want to win. So I'm good. I could see him coming back. Like I really do. I want him to come back. I want him to win some tournaments. And yeah, I'm rooting for him. I think he's actually like a really nice guy. I think they're all nice guys, except for Kyrgios. And Zverev. I'm watching you, Zverev. Okay, so that's it for all of our stories, but then I added a little segment, which is like, I guess not that creative, and like, let me know if I'm like stealing it from someone because I like thought of this and I'm like, oh my God, this is like the best segment, and probably someone might do this already, but so sorry if it is, but I'm unaware. And I was like, I'll do like the ins and outs. So, okay, so my first in of the moment is, okay, I guess it kind of like goes along with Andy Murray coming back, is Jack Sock is back on tour from his thumb injury. Yes, his thumb injury. Truly, when he first, and I totally forgot about that, he had a thumb injury. I knew he wasn't playing because of something, but I forgot it was the thumb. And when he first went out, because I remember first went out with a thumb injury, I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, are you good? Like, just like tape it up, like you're good, get over it. But I'm kidding, like don't get over it. Like I know the thumb. But then I like remember like one of my good friends from middle school had a toe injury, like her pinky toe. I think this might, like honestly might have been like 4th grade. And you think like, oh, your pinky toe, like tape it up, like you're good. She literally had to like wear a cast and like could not walk for weeks because it's something about your pinky, like it's like connected to the equilibrium of your body and like the balance. And so I'm like, okay, like I'll give it to him. Like the thumb, and honestly, he does that weird thing with his thumb, with his forehand. It literally is like, I have seen him like a few times at the US Open playing, and like he legit holds his racket like this for a forehand. Like I can't even emulate it, but he's full on back. Good for him. I see like he was another one on the Instagram a little bit, and I don't know if I'm the only one who's noticed this, but if I can go on a tangent a little bit about Jack Sock, it's like, it's fine. Like, it's just him. But like, am I the one who's noticed that he has a type? Like, it's fine. Like, obviously, like, it's great. Like, I love. Like, I want him to be in love. But like, he is always, seems to be like, gets a girlfriend. She's always like blonde, like loves makeup, like gorgeous, but like, and like Southern. Well, actually not his like last one. But he like goes, he like falls head over heels with them, I'm sure. And like on social media, like babe, like with my love, like in like emojis, like stories about them. They go everywhere. Like they were just in Disneyland. I was like, okay, fine. It's just like, wait, you're calling this one babe? You literally posted with like another girl like 2 months and a week ago, and we're like, I'm in love with you, babe. So he's now like his most recent girlfriend, and I think they've been together for like a few months, so like I'll give it to him. And he just like is posting about her constantly. It's like, okay, like I get it, like, you know, I'm not saying like don't post about your significant other, like love that, like if you're in love, like I'm happy for them. But it's just so funny because I remember a year or two ago when he won the Paris Masters, I think it was, yes, and he was dating this, I think it was a British tennis player, like also like long blonde hair, like really pretty, like whatever. And he would always post about her, like, thanks babe, love the shoes babe, like literally everywhere with them. And he just falls hard, I guess, and he won it. And that's obviously the biggest win of his career. And like he drops his racket and like he goes on the ground, and then he literally like immediately like runs to her, like swoops her up in his arms. They're like hugging. And I'm like, okay, no offense, but like you've known her for like 6 months. This is the biggest win of your career. Like, why aren't we hugging the mom? Hug the dad, hug the coach, like chill. Like, good for you. I'm not bitter. But I just like, am I the only one who noticed he like really goes full on with the girlfriends? Not that it's a bad thing, but you know, this is what Love All, the tennis talk show, was like all about. Going beneath the surface, beneath the clay, and asking the hard questions. What's up with Jack Sock and his blonde girlfriends? But you know, wish them well. Hope she's the one. She seems great. I think she's like a Southern girl. He's like a Southern boy, or Oklahoma or Kansas, one of those states. And then another I saw Novak Djokovic and John Millman on Instagram practicing together. And like, I developed a crush on John Millman after, obviously when everyone did, after he beat Federer. Was it the US Open last year? And like everyone was like, oh my God, who is this guy? And he's like, whatever. So like, I think he's just cute, and like that little Australian accent, you know, don't hurt. And obviously like I'm in love with Novak Djokovic. And so like, it was like my husband and my boyfriend were practicing together, and that's like so cute that they're getting along for me. They are helping each other. And I don't want them to play each other, like really play each other, but if they are helping each other to then defeat the others, then I'm good, dream team. And then my out was honestly only, and I kind of talked about this already, but Nick Kyrgios and his attitude, and Eugenie Bouchard's social media, Twitter. Well, I could have just won Rogers Cup. Really, girl? So that is it for today. And again, I'm going to try to do it like more consistently. I'm thinking like once, I don't know if I can do once a week, just with like, I'll see how much content there is. If there's like stories that I feel like I need to like go over, then then I will. But I'm thinking now I'll record and put something out like once every 2 weeks. And like, I'm going to the US Open in a few weeks, so maybe I'll do something right before that, or like right after that, because I'll probably, you know, hopefully have some encounters and some stuff to talk about. It's like I'm getting that honey deuce, and it's the first time I'm there that I can drink. So yeah, that'll be fun. And if you are watching on YouTube, hello. If you're watching on YouTube, this is going to be also available as a podcast, Spotify going forward, or if you're listening right now, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I think that's it for now. And then YouTube, yeah. So if you're listening, you can also watch me just like do hand motions and watch me like fix my hair. And if you're watching, you want to listen more intently to me saying like and pick your poison. I'll try to like I'm just getting used to it, but I'll try to get better. So that's it for today. Follow on Instagram, Love All the Tennis Talk Show. I'm trying to put out some content. Yeah, listen hopefully in another 2 weeks. So thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.